Happy Wednesday. It is psychic medium Josh Simons coming to everyone here with a quick rune reading. I'm coming up on 5 years of doing this professionally, doing this kind of work professionally, and the very first thing that got me into it, well, kind of happened at the same time, was my ancestry work, as well as discovering the runes. Being that it's Wednesday, and being that we named Wednesday after Odin, Woden's Day, Odin is the chief god of the Norse pantheon. The Norse pantheon includes gods like Loki and Freya and Freyr, Thor, Odin. Being Wednesday, I'd like to come to everybody with a little bit of a lesson, a little bit of a reading, if you will, on runes. Runes, Runes, are the very first alphabet for Northern Europe, according to the archaeological record. And according to the archaeological record, runes were used first and foremost as a way of writing. All sorts of things happened to the runes over the course of use in the course of history, and those runes now, not only are they used for writing in the same way that we can write with our Arabic characters, our Latin characters, if you will, they also represent different ideas or concepts. Now, this bag right here that I carry my runes in, it's seen a lot. It's been with me for the entire time that I've done this. And what I'd like to do is I'd like to pull 2 runes, and my goal is to keep this video under 10 minutes long. I want to pull a rune with wisdom from our grandmothers, and I want to pull a rune with wisdom from our grandfathers. I want to pull 2 runes separately, one right after the other. One of the reasons that I'm called to do this is as I work through these sorts of streams, these magics and these, the runes and the cards and the mediumship work, it's become second nature to me. I'm very much accustomed to the world of spirit and the way the runes and the tarot and all this stuff kind of overlaps and interacts with us on a regular basis. A lot of folks that are new to this or aren't as familiar with all this stuff, they're not so familiar. It can be weird, it can be strange, and that's one of the things that pulled me to it in the very beginning. So, being that, you get sort of used to it, if you will, for lack of a better way to put it, I want to lean into how weird and peculiar these 2 messages are going to be. So I'm going to pull a rune from the grandmothers and a rune from the grandfathers with the intention that these runes are information from them. Now, I also set the intention that the message that I get from the runes here is good for anybody that would see this video. So basically, think of your grandmothers in spirit, your ancestors, and your grandfathers in spirit, and your ancestors of that line. Think of these messages coming from them. So let's get started, and we're going to dig right into the rune from the grandmothers. Okay, fingers just go to this one in the bag, pull it up. Let me go here. All right. This is Tiwaz. This is the rune of two or tier. Two being T-E-W or T-U-E. Okay. So Tiwaz comes from the same root of Deus. Deus being Zeus, or D-E-U-S, Z-E-U-S. This is basically the sky god, the big sky daddy, if you will. Yet it's also balance and justice. This is fairness. This is the code of ethics that samurais, knights of medieval Europe, chivalry would have been based on. Ideals like this. It's interesting that the grandmothers would bring us this message because we can see a whole lot of not fairness in this world. Try as we might, we will interact with different spiritualities, different moralities, different mythologies, and it seems like the folk tales and the stories that we're guided to and that we hear, they have a lot of lessons to teach us, a lot of blueprints and guidelines for how to walk through this world. And try as we might, and try as strongly as we may very well be people of character and integrity, we can absolutely come across people who don't have any of that. One of the largest mistakes that we can make in this world, and I think mothers and grandmothers can absolutely relate to this, is the imbalance and the unfairness that we experience in this world when we expect ourselves from other people and other people disappoint us. For instance, Isaac, my husband, and I, we own a store. There are people that will come in here and steal from us. It's a fact of life. It's a fact of having a retail establishment. Now, while Isaac and I would not walk into a store and steal from a store owner, we can't expect us out of other people. That would be naive, right? So that doesn't mean we shouldn't live by ideals. That doesn't mean that we shouldn't strive for ideals and strive for fairness and goodness and all that. It just absolutely means we, people, you, I, Isaac, my husband, everybody, we can't expect ourselves out of other people. That's a recipe for disaster. I mean, we're setting ourselves up to fail. So please remember that. Fairness, balance, justice, it does exist in the world. And that's an ideal that we carry within us. Yet we can't expect everybody in this world around us to treat us and give us the same that we would give them. All right. So there's that. Let's see what the grandfathers have to say. And I love the juxtaposition of that. The warrior energy being given to us by the grandmothers. That's the warrior rune. That's like the spear, the arrow. I love that that was given to us by the grandmothers, because we could, assume that that strength and that warriorship was very much, how do I say, something associated with men. Nothing could be further from the truth. So let's see what the grandfathers have to say. Okay, I think we're ready for this one. All right. So, grandfathers have this energy of ingwaz. Now, this might sit a little bit more with the grandfather energy. This ingwaz rune, this right here, is like the seed. So this is very fertile energy. This is actually masculine energy. This very much shows us growth, fertility. It's more the masculine aspect. Think like the Green Man or Freyr. Freyr being the male counterpart to Freya. This is that masculine aspect of nature and growth and abundance and all of that. Yet it is also a rune of peace and harmony. And I love that. And I love that, this is kind of a juxtaposition too with how we would associate, sort of masculine warlike energy. Here we go. Here we are with masculine energy that represents peace and harmony. The legend of Ing, of the great god Ing, sometimes spelled Y-I-N and sometimes I-N-G, is that this god, Freyr, if you will, came into this land where everybody was warring, and he brought peace, and then he just disappeared. And that sounds very angelic to me, right? Like the idea that this king or this god came in, blessed everybody, created peace, and then just took off. That's a very kind of classical story that we see a lot in mythology. Yet this is a reminder of peace and harmony and balance. Nature, masculine, feminine aspects, let's not pay attention even to those. Nature, in all of its masculine and feminine aspects, requires peace and harmony to kind of keep trucking along. So remember what growth there is in peace and harmony. And when there isn't peace and harmony, well, growth gets in the way, or we don't get growth that we could hope for. That's when we need the balance of the warrior. So peace and harmony, joy and strength, these are the things that we strive for. So in the interest of keeping this video under 10 minutes, that is the rune Tiwaz and the rune Ingwaz, and that's what those energies represent. Thank you for tuning in. Happy Wednesday, and I'll see what I can do about getting some of this rune energy out there every Wednesday. Take care of yourselves. Bye.